Okay, so guys, we're back. It's Anson, and we're back with another part. We're back with part 4 with role reaction bots. So in the last video, I showed you guys how to set up your MongoDB. Well, I showed you guys how to install MongoDB. I showed you guys how some basics with MongoDB. And I showed you guys how to set up Mongoose. Okay, so we're just gonna continue where we left off. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to exit out of this bot.js file because we're not going to need it. And I'm going to exit out of here because we're not going to need it as well. Likewise, we're going to exit out. We're going to stay in here, add reactions.js, okay? So we're going to continue with the discord.js code. So we last left off in episode 2 over here where we fetched the message and we reacted to it. Okay, we did it right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you guys a quick recap. So let me actually clear all the reactions. And let's do this all over again. Okay, so what just happened was they fetched the message. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and specify the emojis that should be reacted to and which role it corresponds to, and then YouTube. Okay, and of course, again, that's pretty much what this does so far. We have to get the initial reactions so that way other people can react to it. And again, make sure that you have the add reactions permission set to off. Where is it? There you go. Make sure that's disabled. Okay? That way other people can't add new reactions to the message, but they can add current reactions to it. Okay, so now we have all our reactions. We need to save all of our data to the database. Okay? So over here, every single time we react, to the message, we're going to also save our data to the database. Well, here's what we're gonna do. Every single time the reaction is successful, what I want to do is okay, actually, give me one sec. I need to. Okay. Whew. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I forgot to mention this. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of all of the emojis and roles that they're trying to add to the database. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of the emoji ID and the role ID, because on the database we're going to map the emoji ID to the role ID in the emoji role mappings object. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go ahead and say let's emoji role mappings, and I want this to be a new map. The reason why is because I don't want any duplicates, because for example someone can just type Facebook again, and that, I mean, obviously we can't react again because we already have the reaction already. Okay, but that's going to, we don't want to collect duplicates. Okay, we don't want to collect duplicates. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we only have unique data. Okay, so we're gonna have this map, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and say emoji role mappings dot set, and we're gonna set the ID of the emoji to the ID of the role. Okay, now how do we know when the user is done? So what we're going to do is this command itself is going to be an internal command, and what that means is that this command is not going to be registered with the command handler, because if we did, we would have to create a new file and we would have to have reference to this collector, and we don't want to do that. It's going to be lots of work. So what we're going to do is let's see, I want to issue a command called stop, stop. Okay, and that command, what that command should do is it's supposed to stop the collector, stop collecting messages, and then save all the data to the database. So what I'm gonna do now, here's the issue, right? Right now, if I do stop, this message is gonna be disposed. So what we need to do is we need to actually listen to the dispose event, because this is where all the messages that are disposed go, right? So for example, let me log the messages to the console just so you guys can see, right? It's always good to show you guys what every line of code does, or what most of them do at least. So our bot's starting up again. Okay, and let's go ahead and run this command again. Okay, so let's just say if I type this, right, that message should have been disposed. Why was that message not disposed? We returned false. Okay, so emoji does not exist. So we returned false, but that message should have been disposed. Why was that not logged? Or am I not seeing it? That's weird. So it goes in here, returns false, so I'm 100% sure that's what it should do, is it disposes the message. Disposing a message means to get rid of. And so every single time you dispose a message, or is my scope incorrect? No, that should be correct. This message parameter is part of this scope, but this one is its own thing. I'm a little bit confused. Give me one sec. I know for a fact that this dispose. I mean, I might be wrong. But I remember one time that this is what happened. Because I've used this before, so I know that this is how it should work. But I don't know why it's not disposing it, or maybe, you know what? I'm pretty sure it's probably just something with my Discord bot. It's so annoying. Like my NodeMon. Let me try this again. Oh yeah, I don't know why it takes forever to load up. Okay. Alright, hopefully this works. Yeah, I don't know why it's disposing it. Is there somewhere here where we're not returning false? Because if it returns false, right, the message itself should be disposed. Well, I think I might be... well, handle dispose, call this to remove an element from the collection. But this is... I think... Oh, I get it. Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I misinterpreted what this event actually does. Okay. So I think this event is actually, it only emits when you actually manually call handle dispose. And, okay. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead... You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to scrap this filter. We still need the filter because that's just it's a mandatory parameter. But this filter instead is just going to check to see if the author ID, the ID of the author that sent the command is the same ID is the same author that is setting the messages. We're gonna scrap this, okay? We're gonna move this inside here, inside this callback function over here. How do I explain this? We're gonna move everything in here because I need a way to check if the person sends the $done command. Okay, I can't just do $done because I don't have that role registered and I don't want to register that role with the command handler. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So let me actually scrap everything and we're gonna paste everything inside here. And I know it's gonna be a little bit weird, but bear with me. We're gonna get rid of all this code. Okay, and what we're doing here is we're checking to see if both of these things exist. If they do, great. So we don't need to return because we're inside a callback function. Well, actually, we're just going to, yeah, we're going to return. We're going to return, but we're not going to do anything. We're not going to return false anymore. Okay, great. And so, okay, so over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a ternary operator, and this is just going to say, return true, or we don't need a ternary operator. What I'm talking about? We're gonna say return true if both IDs match, false otherwise. So if this is true, then we will collect that message, and inside this message collector, everything that we were trying to filter out, we're gonna do that check inside here. Okay, so if the emoji name does not exist, return false, or not return false, we're going to return. If the role name doesn't exist, or if the role name is invalid, then we're going to return. Find the emoji. If the emoji doesn't exist, return. If role doesn't exist, return. Okay. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead, and this is not original content message, it's going to be message. We're going to do this. If message.content.to lowercase equals question mark done, we're going to go ahead and stop the collector by saying collector.stop, and it's going to emit the end event. Okay. Collector.stop. Okay. Done command was issued. Pass and reason. And then we're going to return. So we're not going to do anything inside here. And then inside collector on end, this is going to take in two parameters. It's going to take in the collection. So it's going to take in all of the messages that were collected, and it's going to take in the reason that the collector ended. Okay, so we don't really care so much about these parameters, but I'll just show you how that works. So we're going to take in those two parameters. We can do console log collected.size, console log reason. Okay. And don't worry, I'm going to explain all the changes that I just made, but let me just test this out real quick. Okay. So let's do, if I do that, we need to fix that real quick. Line 25. It is no longer cache, but it is, we're going to do, okay, that's for finding the emojis. Let's try this again. Yes, oh, there's a lot of errors that we have. Original message. Okay, so this should actually be message.channel.send. Okay, same thing here. Same thing here. Normal. Okay, there we go. We just had a couple of reference errors that I forgot to fix. Okay. Emoji does not exist. Perfect. If I do Snapchat, perfect. Snapchat, blah blah blah. It should say role does not exist, but I don't know why it doesn't say that. Okay, there we go. For some reason now it did that. Okay. Now if I do question mark done, the collector stopped, but collector.size is not a function. That's weird. Oh, because I think this is a property, not a function. Okay, sorry about that. Should say role does not exist. Snapchat. Okay, let's do Facebook, Twitter. Done. Command does not exist. 5. So 5. So these were all of the messages collected. Okay. So the reason why it's 5 is because we collected every single message that passed this filter. But we're only going to care. But over here inside this a callback function for the collect event, we're only going to worry about all of the messages that have the valid emoji name and the valid emoji ID. I'm sorry, the valid emoji name and the valid role name. Okay, so the only thing that we have to worry about in the end event is taking the there was a piece of code that I think I scrapped that code by accident. Where did I put that? I gotta do a lot of Control Z again. Bear with me, folks. Okay, it was just this part. We can Control Y again. Okay. So we just need to do this fetch message. We just need to do the reactions, and then we need to set the emoji mappings. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. No. Sorry. We still need to do that inside here. Yeah, I deleted it earlier. But it wasn't copied to my clipboard. So okay, so once all of these cases are satisfied, because remember, all these cases were pretty much what we originally had in the message collector filter. But what I need to do is I need to check to see if the message is equal to $done, right? And there wasn't a way that I could check. I couldn't check the dispose events because I guess I was using it incorrectly. So that's why I had to move everything from the message collector filter to down here. Okay. So the reason why I did that was so I can check to see if the message that the person sent was equal to $done, and if it is, we're going to call collector.stop to stop the collector from collecting messages, and we're just going to return so that we don't do anything else here. Actually, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, that's good, because if it's done, then we're not going to do any reactions. We're not going to do any emoji role mappings. Okay. Okay. So now, once everything is done, let's just log the emoji role mappings just to see what our map looks like. Okay, so let me just clear all these. I really should have written a purge function before I did this tutorial, but yeah, hopefully we should be able to tidy things up in just a sec. And I think wow, there's so many freaking messages, holy crap. I really should have gotten a purge function. Okay, so we're gonna just keep deleting. I'm gonna go ahead and clear all the reactions, copy this. Snapchat, so this should work correctly. It should give the reaction. Facebook FB, role does not exist, good. Okay, Facebook, good. YouTube, good. Twitter, good. Done. Okay, so we're done. And we have the map. Okay, so you see how this map basically has the ID of the emoji mapping to the role ID. Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to save all of this data to the database. Okay, so what we're going to do is we need the original message ID, which is this. Okay, this is the message that people are going to react to. Okay, you need to make sure that if you delete this message, your role reaction menu is not going to work anymore. So you need to make sure that you don't delete this message. But this is the general message that everyone is going to react to get their emojis, to get their roles. Sorry. Okay, so hopefully my bot didn't restart. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and save everything. And we're going to save it to the database. So what we're going to do is we're going to say let db message model. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm just going to name it something convenient. We're going to say new message model. So this is the schema that we created earlier. Okay, and we need to follow our schema. Let me open that up real quick. Okay, we need to have the message ID, and we're going to set the value of this message ID to the fetched message ID. Message.id. Okay. And what we're also gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do this. Emoji role mappings is gonna be an object, and it needs to have all of these key value pairs added to it. So I think there should be a way to convert a map to an object. Let's see. I wonder if I actually just leave it like this, if that would work. I don't think that would though, but I can try it out and see what happens. Okay, so now let's just save this to the database. We're not done yet though. There's actually one thing that I need to mention to you guys real quick. Because right now, I'm just going to save it just to see what it looks like, but then we need to actually do one more thing. So we're going to save it. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to log our errors. Okay, whoops. Whoops. Okay, so we're nearly done. What is going on here? That, okay, this contains that. What's going on? Am I missing something? What is going on? I have no idea. I'm probably missing a curly brace somewhere. But my code is so freaking long too. Let me zoom out a little bit. Expected. Okay, so it's thinking this is... What is going on? Oh! Okay, there we go. Okay, let's zoom back in. Okay, so let's make sure that our data is being saved to the database. So let's remove all the reactions. Let's do this. Okay, there we go. Facebook, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, done. Hopefully no error was thrown. Well, we actually had... Oh wait, that was previous. Did it save to the database? I don't think so. Oof, let's see. Let's try this again. Saving. Okay, let's try this again. Oh boy, we're gonna be here for a long time. YouTube or Twitter. Done. Okay, so I don't know why this was not logged, but I don't know if it actually saved it to the database, so we're gonna have to check. So it didn't actually save it to the database. Oh, wait. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. It should be db.message.model.save. Okay, here we go. This is what programming is like when you first, do. A lot of people are gonna criticize me for making a lot of these mistakes, but this is all part of programming. No matter how proficient you are, you're always gonna run into mistakes that every developer is gonna make, and it's just a trial and error stage of programming. Everyone goes through this, so yeah. But yeah. Anyways, so let's just save this, and hopefully that is what the reason that was the reason why we were getting that error. Okay, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Okay. Saving. What's going on? I really don't know what's going on. Show tables. I really don't know what's going on. Is it because we did not connect to our database? Well, no, because earlier we did. I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with it, though. Okay, it might be because we actually did not connect to the database, but we're gonna fix that real quick. So we're gonna say const database equals require. It's been a while since I've used Mongoose, so I really just don't remember a lot of things off the top of my head. So I hope this will work because I'm so sick and tired of just typing this over and over again. Please tell me. Okay, thank you. Okay, it was because we weren't connected to the database. Okay. I can't believe I overlooked that. Okay. So now we have all our data saved. Good, and it's saying it's a map. That's perfect, so we don't have to do any conversion. That's so great. Okay. So now the one thing that I need to mention was that right now we are just adding stuff to the database, but the message ID is the same, right? So here's the thing: we need to actually check the database to make sure that there isn't a document that exists with the ID, because if there is, what that means is that there's already an existing role reaction set up with that message. So we need to check that. Okay, I'm actually going to do one quick thing. I'm going to modify the I want to modify my schema real quick. I'm going to change this to, from a string, I'm going to change it to an object ID, because I think the object ID is actually the I think the primary key, actually. Let me see. Mongoose primary key. There should be a way to set the primary key in Mongoose, I think. We're not gonna worry about that, actually. We'll just leave that alone. Actually, what did I do? Okay, anyways. We're just gonna leave this. We're gonna let me Control Z this. We're gonna leave the schema alone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and search the database. So we're gonna go ahead and say this. We're gonna say message model. Message model dot find one, and we're gonna specify the condition message ID, and we're gonna specify the fetched message ID. Okay, or actually wait, it should be this. Passing that object. Okay. And I think those are the only parameters. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna use async await syntax. So since I'm in this callback function, I'm just gonna do let find message equals await find message document. Okay, and if find message document, the message exists, don't save. Else we're gonna save it to the database. Okay, so let's try this out. So it should tell that to us. It should say. Let's watch this. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do done, and it should say, what's going on? Command does must have a string or function for where. I may forgot how to mongoose find one. Okay, I guess. Wow, I'm having a bad day today, huh? Apparently where is not what I needed to use. So I had it right the first time, but then I self-doubted myself. Okay, there we go. Again. Done. The message exists, don't save. Okay, because our database, we're basically searching our database. You can see that our database has, let me do that pretty. Our database has a document where the message ID property has this ID. Okay, so since that exists, we're not going to add it. So if that's the case, what we're going to do is we're just going to send a message to the user. We're going to say, hey, there's already a role reaction that exists already. A role reaction setup exists for this message already. Okay? And if it doesn't, we're going to do what we did over here, and we're going to create everything, and we're going to be all set. So since we are using async await, since we are using async await, we need to use try catch to catch our errors, but I think it actually catches it down here. But actually, all of the errors should be caught from up here. So I'm going to actually add another try catch. Actually, no, I'll just do dot catch over here. Okay. Alright. This is very messy, but let me just make this a little bit more readable. Okay. Okay, so again, just to walk through everything, basically when the collector stops collecting messages, what we need to do is we need to check to see if the database already has a document where the message ID matches the message that we're trying to add reactions to. Okay, and if it does, then we're going to say, hey, the message, there's already a configuration for this message. Try updating instead. So in the next video or in the video after, I'm going to show you guys how to edit your current configuration. So there's going to be more videos coming to us. Don't worry. We're nowhere near done yet. Right now, all we've done so far was we saved our data to the database. We still need to actually add the roles to the users. We still need to fetch the data from database, and we also need to make it so that the user can add existing emojis to this message configuration. Okay, so right now all we've done was we found the message. If it exists, we're going to send the message. Okay, if it doesn't, we're going to save it to the database. So if I try to issue this command, it should send the message. There you go. Okay, perfect. So we're not going to touch the database at all. Okay, and that's exactly what it is. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for saving to the database. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is we're going to actually get started on setting up the message reaction add event, because I think we're practically done with saving to the database. In the future video, like in the next 2 or 3 videos, I'm going to show you guys how to add more reactions, so don't worry about that. But the next video, we're going to actually start adding roles to the users when they react to the emoji. So I'm going to show you guys how to fetch the data from the database, how to use it to check. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.